When I was working my corporate job, the hardest part about also being a stand-up comedian was how much shit I would talk about working my corporate job and having my corporate job find out about it. To be an artist and to be a business professional is a very tough thing to balance, especially if your art consists of subject matter that tends to push the limits or be upsetting, i.e. stand-up comedy. Okay, maybe just my stand-up comedy. Anyways, today's guest is my good pal Brian Tidwell, aka B Titty. Hilarious nickname. He's a stand-up comedian in Cleveland, Ohio. B Titty dropped out of college and was working at McDonald's while he was pursuing his stand-up career. And I don't know if you've ever talked to a stand-up comedian, but the money ain't great. So he got a job working as a door-to-door salesman, and he was so good at it that the company helped him open his own firm and backed his own venture. So now, not only is he an incredible stand-up comedian, but he's also a business owner. Like a legitimate business. The guy's got employees, does his own taxes. Today we talk a lot about towing the line between being a professional and being a stand-up comedian. We had a great conversation and Brian shed some bright light on whether or not you can chase after your dreams while simultaneously starting your own business. You know how we do here at the Oi Podcast. We get real, but we stay fun. Brian Tidwell.
What's up?
AKA B Titty. What's going on, man?
B Titty. What's poppin'? I'm here.
You got a choice, my friend.
Okay.
You got a choice. You can either have your feet for hands, or you can have your hands for feet. What are you going with and why?
I can either have my feet for hands or my hands for feet.
Yep, so you're
I'm
gonna
going to say my hands for feet.
hands for feet. And so you know that means you're gonna have to have. So now you got hands everywhere.
Yeah, hands and hands. So it's just it gives you more opportunity to do more things at once.
Shit. Okay, I didn't think about that. All right, take that back. Let me take that back. You either got to do you either got to have, if you pick hands for feet, you got to have feet for hands, right? But if you pick shit, that ain't gonna work.
It's the same either way.
It's the same shit. Damn it. I wanted that one to be better. All right, we're gonna squash that one.
Why I can't have both? You don't want me to be productive?
We're gonna squash that one. We're gonna squash that one. Brian Tidwell. B Titty.
What's
you
up?
Get to be one animal on the planet. It's got extinct or alive, but you got to live in today's world. What are you gonna be and why?
One animal.
One animal.
Sheesh. That's tough.
This one is a tough one. I always go back and forth with a few.
Maybe it's either between a wolf or a flying animal, like an American eagle or something like that, just for transportation.
Yeah, I definitely choose the eagle, right?
Yeah.
And you just get to see the whole world. Or like what's like an ocean animal that can go all over?
I don't like water.
You don't like the water? Water's pretty terrifying.
I'm terrified.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I gotta go with like a bald eagle. Birds are badasses, dude.
Yeah, man, just flying and just like no restrictions, no like don't answer to nobody. You're like, fuck you, I'm flying up.
Dude, and they're like 7 feet. They're like 7 feet wingspan.
Yeah.
Some of these eagles. That's a full grown. That's big. That's Shaq. That's Shaq.
You
from tip to
see them,
tip,
you see
7
these
feet.
eagles, you see these hawks like taking out deer, and yeah, they badass.
Have you seen the videos of the of the hawks picking up goats and throwing them off the mountains?
Yeah.
That's the most terrifying shit I've ever seen. Yeah, I'd want to be one of those.
Crazy.
I want to be a bird that can pick up a goat and throw it off a cliff.
Now, do I still have I have a fear of flying, but I think if I'm a bird, I'm naturally adapted to that.
Yeah, you won't be afraid to fly. Actually, well, will you? Because then you could be an ocean fish, but you wouldn't be afraid of the ocean.
I'm afraid of the ocean.
Okay,
I'm more afraid of big bodies of water than I am of
let's make a
being in the air.
compromise. Let's make a compromise. If you pick eagle, you got to still be afraid of heights, but as being an eagle, I think you would get over it. I think it would take you a while, but you might get over it because you'd be in control of it.
Yeah. I would pick the eagle just because I'm in control. I think I'm afraid of flying. Like I still get on planes and stuff, but the biggest fear is just not being in control.
Yeah. That's what it is with heights, dude. Because like
Yeah.
I'm afraid of heights, but only like when I'm in control. Like I don't
Yeah.
trust myself. Like walking like up a lighthouse and shit like that, I'm terrified. But like roller coasters and planes and shit like that, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, I can ride. See, I'm the opposite. I can ride any roller coaster, but it's just the airplanes. I get freaked out because I'm not in control. Because I think I kind of compared to my driving. Like I'm not afraid of anybody on the road because I pay attention. But when that control is gone for me, and now I have to bank on, man, and then my mind, you know, as a comedian, your mind is always going. So you're like, damn, I wonder how did this pilot's night go? Did he have a good night? Is he hungover?
What's he been doing? Because that's the thing. We forget, like, they're still just people.
They're still just people. Do he really feel like being at work today? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all that in my head.
Yeah.
When I'm on a plane.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So you'd rather be in control.
Yeah, I'd rather be in control.
And I'm the opposite. I'm like, he's got it.
You want to leave it to the
He's got it. He's got it.
I'd rather be in control.
Interesting. All right. You got $10 million. You just got it. Check came in the mail this morning. You got to spend it by the end of the day. What are you going to do? It's got to be gone.
$10 million spend it by the end of the day. I would probably I have to spend it.
Oh yeah.
Whatever
you don't spend is gone.
Okay. I would definitely give most of it away to my family so we all can ball. And then we all spend it together. So I'll probably give my mom a meal, my brother, my sister.
Just go somewhere.
My comedy brothers. And then if I got to spend it, and then I would just spend the rest, and then we would all just spend it together.
What would you buy first, a house or a car?
Definitely a house. I can make money off the house.
Man, I go back and forth with real estate sometimes because it's like not like I know it's a good investment, but if I had like unlimited wealth to where I didn't have to make investments, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't even own a house.
Right.
Like if investments.
Yeah, if I had just.
Yeah, if I didn't have to worry about investments, I don't think I'd own a house. I'd just hop around from place to place. I'd buy a ship.
You buy a ship?
Yeah, dude, I'd buy a ship, and then I should buy like a ship and a private jet, and one where I can park the private jet on the ship. I'd have like a cruiser.
If I had unlimited wealth, I would look into figuring out how to teleport.
God, I know, man. We got to figure that out, dude.
Like soon.
The quarantine would be fine if you could teleport.
If you could just teleport, like
yeah. You can stay inside anywhere. Just teleport. Put your mask on, hit that button. All right. Good to go.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a great question because I asked that question on a podcast last week. If I could have one superpower, it'd be to never get tired.
Never get tired.
Never get tired.
You just want to work out all day.
Just want to work out. Just want to work. I want to talk to people. I don't ever shut the fuck up. And the only time I shut up is when I'm sleeping, and I don't like that.
Mine would be to teleport.
Teleport? Yeah, teleport. Yeah. That's a great one. That's a great one. But if I don't ever get tired, I can just make those drives. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Bro, how you been, man?
I've been good, man. You know, spending this time to reflect on life.
How's stand-up going? How's the business going? What's been new? We're in quarantine still.
Yeah, still on quarantine. Stand-up wise, I think we've all been affected by it the same. Like, just woke up one day and it's like every show you had booked canceled. So I feel like I'm really like back in my creative bag from when I first started doing comedy. So like I've been doing a lot of writing and a lot of sketches and stuff like that. Just trying to stay active and not being like real complacent and just like, okay, well, just wait till everything open back up, you know. So I've been just doing that, man, just writing, trying to get more diverse and looking at stuff and you know, just hanging out really. As far as my business and stuff like that, it's been on hold since March 16th. So hopefully this week everything gets back going in Ohio.
So how long have you had that business? Because you started that business after you started doing stand-up, right?
Correct.
How did that kind of come about? Tell me about your business.
Okay, so I gotta go back a little bit further. So I started stand-up in 2011. Before I started stand-up, I was working at a job. I was working at McDonald's, right? I worked at McDonald's from the age of 15 to 18. I went to college, dropped out, and then I came back in at 20, and I worked at McDonald's from 20 to 29. So if you do, it's probably about 12 years I worked at McDonald's. Only job I ever had at this time. In 2014, I had got an opportunity. In 2011, I started comedy. 2014, I was really serious about it. And I got a call from one of our McDonald's owners saying like, hey, man, he had sold the McDonald's earlier that year. He's like, listen, in December, I want you to quit. I'm going to have you come work at my new venture. He's about to open up these ice cream shops. It's like, I'm going to have you be a supervisor. So in my mind, I'm like, boom, supervisor, make you on schedule.
Yeah, and you've already done the ice cream at McDonald's. You got this shit. You're good to go.
McDonald's, right? Not really. The shaking machine always down, so I already didn't get any experience with that. So, my boss, so he like in December, I got you. Put my 2-week notice in. I ended up quitting the second day of my 2-week notice. I'm like, I need a vacation before I start this new job. And I just remember 2014 December. I quit December 30th. I'm like, all right, man, 2 weeks went up. What's up when we start working? He said it's gonna be a couple more weeks. January 15th, he said it's gonna be a couple more weeks. January 30th, I'm like, hey man, you know, I'm kind of out of funds, you know, I just moved in. Me and my girl just got this place in Lakewood. You know, I got to start paying some rent. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to have you do some promotion for us. And the promotion was pretty much me dressing up in an ice cream costume, going to daycares and old folks home, dancing in an ice cream suit, passing out flyers.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that. And then I did that. I was waiting on him until May. May 15th, 3 days before my birthday, he calls me and he tells me, he didn't get the stores. I can get you back in McDonald's. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that. So I had to teach myself, like, you got to think, like, every job I ever got, I just walked in and got it. So I didn't know how to do a resume, none of this stuff at 29. So I had to do this, go online. I ended up moving back home with my mom. And I went on this interview, and it was like a door-to-door sales job. And I remember doing it, and I'm like, all right, well, I just do this until I quit and find something else. And I ended up doing it, and I was like really good at it. And I ended up killing it. And then it was an opportunity to move up. So in 2015, I started there. In 2 years, I learned the ropes. And then in 2017, I actually signed my own. I opened up my own ICL and signed a contract directly with the company to open up my own firm and teach people how to do sales and train them in it and do my own sales and stuff like that.
Was that like something they offered as the company, or is that something you were like, oh, dude, if this company can do this, I can do this?
Yeah, so it's something that they offer and they promote it, but it's so hard to get promoted because, you know, you gotta be good at the sales. You got to be good at showing that you can train and team build and stuff like that. So I had to do that, and you got to kind of prove yourself. You know, you're getting this contract, you're getting to make, you know, you got $1 million owners in this business. So it's just like, it's a big opportunity, but it's so hard to do it. So I was just so focused. I remember seeing a guy that, who had hired me. He was a year older than me, and every day he was done at 1:30. And that just stuck out to me. And I was just like, man, I had so much time to do comedy and do this stuff. And that was my motivation. It was just like, I had to. Yeah. I didn't want to. I had to get promoted. I had no other options. You get what I'm saying? So it was just like, it was just different. And I heard a quote it was a quote that stuck with me when I got into business. It's like the stuff that you're going through will either be the reason why you can't do something or why you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I
like
had
that.
to do it, man. I was catching the bus. I was with my daughter, take her to school, walking to the job.
Yeah.
No cell phone, no money, no car. And like, you know, it was bad, man. Like it was bad. Like 2015 was like a rough year for me for work and comedy and everything.
And so during that year you had, did you have your kid yet?
Yeah, I had my daughter in 2011. I had my daughter the same year I started comedy.
Okay, so you had your daughter in 2011. So, man, you got a whole family. So yeah, the pressure was on. I can definitely understand why you were like, okay, I gotta get down and get after this. Now you said you got an ICL. What's an ICL?
It's just an independent corporate license. So it's just that's just what they call it. Like when you have your own business, ICL is an independent corporate license. So it's my business. I can do anything, you know, like I can go and negotiate with the barbershop if I wanted to and say, hey man, I'll guarantee I get you this many clients if you pay me for every client that I do. So I can do that just, you know.
And there's like tax benefits to that as well. They give you your own number, so you're not using like your social.
Yeah. You get your own tax. Get that all for your business. So it's your own business, your own company. You know, you got your own employees and stuff like that. You're just like a partner. Like the client that I work with, their job is to get me more clients. You get what I'm saying? Like I couldn't just walk into AT&T and say, or to the head of AT&T and say, hey, I want to sell your product for you, and you're gonna pay me this for doing it. They're gonna be like, who are you? What's your background?
Yeah.
That's what my parent company does. They'll get the clients for me, and then I'll show them my numbers. Like, hey, this is what my guys do. This is what we sell. This is what we can generate.
Oh, so it's kind of like the company
what we did with
is
energy.
Like, yeah. So it's kind of like the company is like co-signing your venture.
We froze there.
Yeah, we froze there. I'm gonna have to cut that one out. You still there? You still there?
Hey, yeah.
So it's kind of like your company is like co-signing like the older company's co-signing your new company. Is that true?
Exactly. So like the company that I work with, they have the relationships, they have the book of business, and they give me they outsource. So what they'll say is like, hey man, I got your comedy book. Let's say you are one of the best comedy book writers ever in the world. You're the biggest, right? And you're like, okay, I want to get my book into more places, right? I want to get it in Cleveland. I want to get it in this market and stuff like that, right? It's a whole bunch of offices. Like let's say it's like 500 owners just like me, right? This one company will get the relationship with you and say, cool, man, you want to get your book sold more? Okay, cool. Well, I have a owner in Cleveland who has a great sales office, right? And you respect them because you know what they do in their field. So you're like, okay, cool. So they kind of, bring like the legitimacy to the business, and you'll go, okay, cool. And then I'll go, cool. All right, I'll sell your book for you. You don't have to pay me if I don't sell anything. You only pay me for what I sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say for every book I'll have my rep sell it. So for every book, it'll be a payout of $100.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll go, $60 goes to the rep and $40 comes to my business.
Okay.
For each book. And then that's how we'll break it up and stuff like that. So you think if I have 20, 40 guys selling 5-6 books a day?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's how it breaks down.
And no specific genre or market. You'll sell anything?
Well, right now I'm an energy expert, so that's what I sell.
Okay.
But the system to selling is the same for everything. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right now I came in 2015 selling energy. I've always been on energy, right?
Yeah.
Right now, this is about to be a new kind of thing with me doing AT&T and stuff like that, just because, we don't want to have our eggs in all in one basket. Right now we have a band on selling energy. So we got to try something new right now. But the skills, the selling skills, the knowledge, it's all the same for any product. You just got to switch a few things.
Man, that's impressive.
Congratulations,
man. I'm happy
So
for
I
you. I'm
did that,
proud of
man.
you.
Two years knocking doors.
Yeah, man. What are the skills? What did you learn from door-to-door sales? I mean, that I've never done door-to-door sales. I've done sales, but I can imagine door-to-door sales is tough.
It's tough, man. I feel like if you're a comedian, it's something that you should do.
Really?
I don't care if you try for 30 days.
Yeah.
It is the most. It's so intimidating. I'm coming to your house. You don't know me. And I have to sell you on something that you wasn't thinking about selling, right? You wasn't thinking about buying. So first I have to show you, it is just like comedy. When you go on stage, what's the first thing you're trying to do? Your first joke is trying to let the person know who you are, when you want them to laugh. Okay, I like him. It's the same thing. I knock on the door, and it was something just to lighten the mood, get people to like trust me. So I was great at joking. I would hit the doors. A lady would answer like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm here for dinner." What? What? They're like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I'm kidding, man. I'm Brian with da 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 da." And it just taught me those skills that you needed to build relationships, get people to trust you, how to impulse people.
Hey, I'm here for dinner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to be the king of just coming up with just random stuff, random icebreakers.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
So it was just like, but it just taught you like, I was never afraid to be on the stage and stand up, but far as like just those little things, those little uncomfortable situations, like I got so comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
With doing, so it was just like all this other stuff was easy. I'm going to a stranger's house that don't know me, and I'm just convincing him to buy something from me.
Right. Comfortable being uncomfortable, which is literally all stand-up comedy is.
Yeah.
How comfortable can you get with how weird this is?
Exactly.
That's crazy, man. What kind of hurdles and difficulties are there with starting a professional company while simultaneously being a stand-up comedian? Because I've seen your act. You're not a dirty comic by any means, but you're not like a straight, narrow comic. At the same time, you push the limits and you try to, you do a really good job with social commentary.
Yeah.
How do you play that balancing game? And this is coming from someone who I spent a lot of time in the corporate world. And before I left the corporate world, it was very difficult for me to toe that line. And then once I left the corporate world, it was like all these doors open. Now I was newer in my comedian career. You're way more advanced and well-versed. Is there any on-off switch? Do you feel like though you need it? How do you balance that?
So that was kind of like, it's two parts to this question. So that was my motivation to become an owner. To where I answered to no one. So it's kind of like the perfect setup, right? I don't have to, like I built my business up, to like 2019, I was the top selling office of the year out of all the other offices and stuff like that for that campaign. And I didn't even have to go work to do it. So I get paid, that's the goal in life. You want to get paid off, and it sounds horrible, but you want to get paid off other people's efforts,
right?
In business, like that's what business is. Can you create something or do something and have people sell it for you or generate income for you, right? And that was my mindset. Was like I needed to become a boss or owner to where I didn't have to go out and physically work anymore to make money. To where now, but then as a comedian, I had a family, so I couldn't just say, forget working. I'm gonna just focus on comedy and do some shows for exposure, opportunities, not make money, and just say forget my responsibilities as a dad. Yeah. So I couldn't go that route where a lot of comics are like, yeah, I'm just about to move to LA, live in my car,
Yeah.
I'm a dad, I got 2 kids. So my motivation was to get promoted, have income coming in to where I didn't have to work to get the income, but still have that free time to do stand-up whenever.
Uh-huh.
So I'm literally the guy who works but can do any show. Can you come here? Yeah.
Of course.
Can you come to Chicago? Yep, I can. When? Tomorrow? Oh yeah, I can come.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Freedom of time, freedom of
Yeah.
space, freedom of location, really, I feel like is the biggest, especially being in an art field where your presence is demanded.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not so much the case for like a painter or like a writer, but for a stand-up comedian or like an actor or something like that, freedom of place and position is very important.
Now, before that, it was hard working and trying to do stand-up because at one point I felt like I was getting lost from the dream.
Right.
Like I was working 2015. Like I said, I didn't open my business to 2017. Until the end of 2018 is where I really found that kind of freedom of what I had worked for the last 3 years. But so for 3 years, it was just like it was a struggle of balancing the two. It was just kind of like they were telling me like, hey man, if you want to open up and be a business owner, you got to be all in. But then I'm like, well, this is my passion. I'm not going to not do it. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes I would miss opportunities for work because I had a show or I had an audition or I had something that, I wasn't going to turn down for nobody. And then sometimes I missed opportunities in comedy because I was like, hey man, you this close to getting something that can help you long term in the future.
Yeah.
So it was a constant struggle some days. Like 2015, I was depressed. I really didn't even do comedy.
Right.
Because I wasn't working. I was living back at home. I had no car. So I really was like no open mics, not really doing no shows or anything.
Does it feel like now that you have a successful business and it's working and it's paying the rent, paying the bills and providing you with like freedom of time, freedom of space to be able to like chase your dreams? Does it feel like, do you have any loss of motivation with comedy now because you've created your own safety net for bills and stuff like that? Or has this amplified it because now you know that certain things in your life are taken care of and you can focus all this energy back on stand-up comedy?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think when you I truly love creating and being funny and stuff like that. So it's hard for me to lose motivation in that. Like, if I love it that much, right? And my goal is like, although I have that safety net, I don't want to have to. I would rather be comfortable, paying my bills, just doing stand up full time, than having to do part time at a job. And even though I'm not really doing much, I would rather not have that on my plate. Like if I could just support myself doing stand up and stuff like that, like I would do that in a heartbeat. Doing what you love.
Yeah, of course. Have you ever thought long term down the road if, let's say, I'll give you two situations. First situation, what would you do in this situation? What would you do if your stand-up blew up? Next thing you know, everyone's flying you out everywhere. You're on a road trip. You're on the circuit. You're headlining all over the country. You can't be there for the business. Have you ever thought about that? What would you do with the business? Would you sell the business? Do you have a partner?
Yeah. So I actually have thought about that, and I would step away.
Yeah.
I would step away. Yeah.
That's a no-brainer for me as well. I figured you'd say that. It is interesting. It is interesting how you it's almost like no matter what, like even if I think about now starting a business and then it being very lucrative and paying for pretty much to the point where I don't have to worry about money anymore, it still wouldn't keep me from chasing going after stand-up with everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, just with the stuff that we into, right? Like the stuff that's going on right now, like a lot of comics, that was their only source of income, like famous comics and stuff like that, traveling. I would be kind of smart to where I would try to see if I can keep both, maybe hire a manager to come in and just be like, hey man, I'll give you a salary just to run the company.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, but if in a world where we couldn't do that and it was just like, you got to choose one. Like, just for the sake of this podcast, if you got to choose one, you either got the business or you go on the road. I'm going on the road.
Going on the road, man. Respect.
Yeah.
Respect, Brian. That's why I look up to you, my friend. I am proud of you, dude. That's crazy. And I knew we'd met up in Cleveland and had a few beers and talked about it. We really didn't get too in deep because I hadn't seen you in so long. We were talking about everything else, man. But that's awesome. You should be very proud of yourself.
I appreciate it, bro.
Let's wrap up, man. Where can we find you? Where can we find you?
Social media. Instagram is really where my home is. Brian _BTIDY. They call me B Titty, but I know it's spelled B Tidy. Facebook, Brian Tidwell. Instagram, B Titty 216. I really need to just get one name for all pages.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And if anyone needs anything to sell near Cleveland, Ohio, or anywhere, are you selling anywhere?
Anywhere. I can sell anywhere.
So people can just reach out to you online, and if they need help selling something.
Yeah, so somebody can reach out to me. If they need sales training, sales advice, or something like that, like, I can do that. Like,
and where can they find that link? Is that stand-up management?
That's stand-up management.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, www.standupmanagement.com.
Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
All right, Brian. Well, this is how we end each podcast. You just got to give us one piece of advice. If someone came up to you with one piece of advice and they're struggling, chasing their dreams, and it's just an overall view of what you've learned and what you've experienced in your life, you got one piece of advice to give a person. What are you going to give them?
I'm going to tell them, you only lose if you quit, and all you're looking for is one yes. No matter how many no's you get, you're just looking for that one yes.
Thanks for tuning into the OI Podcast. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you're listening. Visit us at www.theoipodcast.com. See you next week. Peace.